I'm Elia Haber for the Beirut Banyan. This is Saturday afternoon. I'm walking from the mosque going down to Samir Osir, and I meet two young men who are walking in the opposite direction. I stop them to ask them for an interview, but their first reaction is that it's going to be a repetition of everything that's already been said and that there's nothing new. At the end of it, I think they changed their minds.
Fares Attieh. I work in Abed Tahan as a financial analyst. I don't think I should say the company name, but anyways, I'm 29 years old, and yeah.
Okay, so my first question to you is, what have you learned in the past 3 weeks?
يعني أنا صراحة my dream actually started to become true. You hear that probably across a lot of people that we kind of gave up on Lebanon, before October 17. And I was one of the people that was like, the Lebanese people are in a state of coma, They're never going to wake up. The politicians have brainwashed them so much that خلاص, this is their way of thinking, and nothing's going to change. It was a shock to me when I saw everyone unite and they're all together and bid, as they say. So I learned that you should never lose hope and always strive for what you believe in.
Okay, and I'm assuming that you've been to protests at least more than once, right? Okay, and have you seen in those protests, or not necessarily those protests, maybe online, something that you never thought you'd see in Lebanon happen during these 3 weeks?
Like I said, but when people are uniting, they're for the same cause, and they're actually talking about كل الزعيم تاعهم يعني عم يحكوا عن الزعيم تاعهم, إنه الزعماء ما عم بيقدموا لنا شيء, they're not bringing anything for us. It was actually very inspiring. It was something that's nice. So that's something that was new, especially كمان everyone, to show the sign of union. عملوا مثل هذا الخط من طرابلس لسوريا. So it's beautiful in that sense.
Okay. My last question to you is, 1 year from now, if we're looking back at this moment in our history, what do you think people will remember, or what do you want them to remember?
Depends what happens from now. Like, the thing is, a lot of people have a huge potential, and they're thinking that wallah, everything's going to change to the better and it's going to become amazing. And في كتير عالم عن جد, they think that خلاص, there is no going back. But thing is, we need to take baby steps. It's not like we're okay, the government هلا resigned. It's not like نحن هلا حنيجي نحط the perfect ideal government, and we're not حنغير كمان النواب كلهم وحنعمل وحنساوي, and the world's going to become a better place. Even the people that are actually عم يتظاهروا and they're being, what, I can't live, I don't have money for school. And it's not like okay, fine, even إذا نحن هلا غيرنا كل system and we change everything, it's not like we're going to feel the impact directly. It's going to take years for that economical wheel to actually kick off and for people to actually live or have a higher standard way of living. But I want people to have نفس طويل. I want them to be determined and persistent and just have hope, and مش إنه والله خلص إنه يرجعوا to be, يعني السياسيين عم جربوا كمان يرجعوا, عم بحكي سوري بالعربي, بس إنه the government's trying to كمان إنه عم بيراهنوا على إنه they're trying to يعلقونا ببعض نوعا ما بطريقة. So just like I said, have hope and stay united as one, try to have one voice. And I want the people to remember that we were able to unite once in this 30 years in our nation. Yeah, so that's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, so if you don't mind, please give me your name, age, and profession.
Okay, Gemayel. I'm 28 years old and I'm a banker. Yeah, shocker. Bankers are also protesting because we are just like anyone else. We are Lebanese citizens. And we're just like any employee in this country.
Okay, George, let me build on that if you don't mind. Being a banker, what did you feel this week that you'd like other people to know? يعني مثلا, what is a misconception that people have about bankers that you'd like to share now?
As you've probably seen in social media and on TV, that there's a lot of problems and مشاكل happening in the banks between the employees and managers and the customers. Just like to tell the bank's clients that we are not against them. This is just something that's شيء مفروض علينا. We don't like to treat them this way. So this is in spite of our will. that we're putting limits on the cash withdrawals and on the transfers and on the transfers outside Lebanon. These laws were put to protect the banking sector in order to slow down the economic crisis.
After going back to work, we had a couple of weeks where you guys were closed. Whether you're a banker or just a regular protesting citizen, what do you think you've learned in these 3 weeks?
I personally learned to not lose hope in Lebanon, and I posted on my Instagram that for the first time in my life I'm proud to be Lebanese because of all the movement that's been happening lately, and I was very happy to see the school students and the university students participating this much, because they are the future of Lebanon.
After having seen the students and all the other protests, is there a specific story or something that happened in front of you, whether in real life or online, that you were like, I never imagined I would see this in Lebanon?
Basically the unity of the people, and that we're waking up. There's no more like Ta'ifi and we're following our Za'im or whatever. People are starting to realize that those Za'ama will bring nothing to us. They're only taking and taking and taking. We have to be united and stand against them and against their corrupt system in order to build our country, and a country that we can live in, and stop thinking about traveling and working outside.
My last question is about hope as well. 1 year from now, if people are looking back at this moment, what do you think they will remember, or what do you want them to remember?
One word: pride. That's it.
It seems everyone's selling corn today. I'm walking from Martyr Square into Riyadh Salah. There's a big stand that sells warm corn cobs. I bump into 2 ladies, one of whom was shy about speaking in English, but her friend agreed to be interviewed. If you could please give me your name, age, and profession.
Okay, I'm Charelle Abdallah. I'm 23 years old and I'm a filmmaker.
It's been 3 weeks since the protests started. What do you think you've learned in those 3 weeks?
I think what all Lebanese people learned is that we should stick together and we should look beyond religion, and human rights should not be related to any religion, not whatsoever. It should be like a community of people helping out each other regardless of your religion and your beliefs and your, how do you say it, political interest, if you'd like to say it. Yeah, that's it.
As a person on the ground, seeing what the government has done so far and what other protesters have done so far, what do you think you've learned?
What we've all missed through these 30 years, our parents and our grandparents, and now it's our time. I think what I personally learned, that power is truly in the hands of people, because the pressure we've put in the streets has completely been executed by the people in power. So people should really understand and remember that the power is in their hands. Once they're united, there's no one that can break them.
My other question to you would be today, in those 3 weeks, we've all been glued to our phones, to our laptops, to the ground, barely doing anything else. Have you seen anything, whether in real life or online, that you looked at and you're like, is this happening in Lebanon?
I think what's happening in Tripoli is the most amazing thing, because what I've personally been taught, that Tripoli is the region of terrorists and drug lords, and you can't really set foot in Tripoli without having the anxiety kicking in. So once we've seen the people in Tripoli, how they are reacting with us, and they truly want their rights. They're people. At the end of the day, that was a shock to me, honestly. I can't wait to get to Tripoli after revolution.
Okay. My last question would be to you, if 1 year from now, you're looking back at this moment in our history, what do you think people will remember, or what do you want them to remember?
I want them to remember their unity. I want them to remember that they stick together and they made things work and they made things happen. That's what I want them to remember. I want them to be proud also, because they really made history.
Elia Haber, signing off from Martyr Square for the Beirut Banyan.